Salve, Regina, Mater misericordiae.
Today we celebrate the memorial of Saints John and Paul, and the Butler's Lives of the Saints has this little summary of their life and a little reflection to offer us. These two saints were both officers in the army under Julian the Apostate and received the crown of martyrdom probably in 362. They glorified God by a double victory. They despised the honors of the world and triumphed over its threats and torments. And in fact, these are the two weapons that the world wields against us. That is, rewarding sin with honor and pleasure, and punishing virtue with threats and torments. Calls to mind St. Francis's exhortation to the friars when he says, "Pleasure is short, punishment is eternal. Suffering is slight, glory infinite." Saints John and Paul saw many wicked men prosper in their impiety, but were not dazzled by their example. They considered that worldly prosperity which accompanies sin is the most dreadful of all judgments. And how false and short-lived was this glittering prosperity of Julian the Apostate, who in a moment fell into the pit which he himself had dug. But the martyrs, by the momentary labor of their conflict, purchased an immense weight of never-fading glory. Their torments were, by their heroic patience and invincible virtue and fidelity, a spectacle worthy of God, who looked down upon them from the throne of his glory, and held his arm stretched out to strengthen them, and to put on their heads immortal crowns in the happy moment of their victory. So we recall that all of the saints accounted that they had done nothing for Christ so long as they had not resisted to blood, and by pouring forth the last drop completed their sacrifice. Every action of our lives ought to spring from this fervent motive, and we should consecrate ourselves to the divine service with our whole strength. We must always bear in mind that we owe to God all that we are, and, after all we can do, are unprofitable servants, and do only what we ought to do. Saints John and Paul, pray for us.